Hi guys, and welcome back to the Moaning Yorkshireman, and welcome back to something a little bit different, I guess, really. I don't normally talk about Formula 1 during the off-season. As you all know, I mainly just do the Cruel Room. A quick, normally, 5 drivers I hate, 5 drivers I love, and an overview of what's to come for 2022, my predictions normally. But this one, I feel I had to do. So, breaking news today that Michael Masi has left his role, or has been advised to leave his role as race director for the upcoming season. He's going to be replaced by 2 people, as well as a couple of other people coming in or back in, and having the FIA basically just having a bit of a restructure. And yeah, I just wanted to let you know all my thoughts really on it, because I feel that there's been a hell of a lot of hate towards Michael Masi since that decision happened in Abu Dhabi. And in some respects, it is rightly so that, you know, initially after that whole event happened, I can fully appreciate why people were angry. I was angry as well. You know, I always said I wanted Max to win it, not in that way. And as I always said, I'm a fan of the sport before I'm a fan of any driver, and that was not a good look for the sport. But then it's the months that's followed, and the hate continues, and it has been a barrage of hate on F1 Twitter. I mean, I rarely post about Formula 1 on Twitter now, because it's going to offend someone and someone's going to have their opinion on it. I even put up a post about Lance Stroll doing quite well in an Aston Martin last year. I can't remember what race it was, and I still got hate on that. So I really do just keep myself to myself when it comes to opinions on Twitter, because no one can have a respectful conversation anymore, and it really boils my piss on there. You'll know who I mean. If you're on F1 Twitter, you'll know who's been rife in that F1 community the last, I'd say, since the start of the year especially. It's just continued. It's been a barrage of hate against Michael Masi. So I just wanted to let you all know my thoughts and opinions on what's happened, whether it's the right decision to get rid of him or not. And yeah, basically, just my opinions. And I personally think, yes, he has to go. It 100%. He has to go after what happened at Abu Dhabi. But not just Abu Dhabi as well. We only just take in that final lap scenario. That's all we take into it, because, of course, that was the moment that cost the championship. But there was questionable decisions made in Saudi Arabia that made that race a total farce. They didn't even know which penalty they were giving Max for what incident. That's how bad it got, because they were out of control. They'd lost touch of what was happening in the race. It was incredibly silly. And then, of course, you had Brazil, which was questionable, with Max pushing Lewis wide. Should it have been a penalty? Should it not have? You know, and there was other questionable decisions throughout the year. And my thoughts on that is the fact that it was the first time Michael Masi's ever been in that role and he had a championship fight on his hands. Because every other time he's been there, there's not really been a championship fight. It's just been Hamilton up ahead. There's been nothing to fight over other than, you know, maybe someone else different winning. Maybe a fight for 3rd, 4th, 5th in the championship, and maybe a constructors battle, but there's never been a fight for the top, for the constructors and for the teams while he's been in charge. And I think all he wanted to do was provide a spectacle and keep the championship alive until the end. I don't think he ever favoured one driver in particular, although some people can say, yeah, but the decisions went Max's way. I think it was just a way of him trying to keep this championship battle going to the end, because that's what everyone wanted. Every normal Formula 1 fan, regardless of whether you were a fan of Lewis, a fan of Max, you all wanted that title decided to go to Abu Dhabi. And in theory, you did want it to go down to the last lap as well, and he knew that, but he just went the wrong way about it, didn't he? Let's be honest, he came in and jumped into Formula 1 incredibly quickly. It wasn't as if he'd applied for the job, had to go for an interview, then they gave him a trial and probationary period, and they had advisors sat with him, oh, you're just going to do this week, you're just going to do this week, and gradually build him up. No, we had the tragic passing of Charlie Whiting, which absolutely knocks Formula 1 for 6. Formula 1 still misses Charlie to this day, and it was such a sad way for Charlie to go in such sudden and unfortunate circumstances. And then that meant they had to get someone else in immediately, rapidly, and they just brought Michael Masi in, who has got a fantastic reputation away from Formula 1, of course. Let's not take that. They've not just pulled someone off the street like me and gone, you be in charge of Formula 1 race director. They've not done that. You know, they had to work out a pool of people that they had that they could poach and pull out and say, right, you're probably going to be the best man for the job. But as they always said, Charlie Whiting did 4 people's jobs. Did they replace Charlie Whiting with 4 people? No, they didn't. I think initially they gave Michael Masi the role and put 2 advisors behind him. If I remember rightly, I'm not 100% sure on that, but it wasn't the 4 people, and Michael Masi was still the race director and pretty much still had to do everything that Charlie did. And that is an incredibly big pair of boots to fit, isn't it? Let's be honest. For Michael Masi to try and fill Charlie Whiting's position in Formula 1, a much respected and much loved guy within the Formula 1 community who everyone knew. Everyone knew him, everyone loved him, and everyone respected him. And I think what's happened over the years is Michael has tried to emulate the respect that Charlie got by maybe being a bit more lenient with things. Every now and again, like there'll be a little decision that goes a team's way that it's not done in the past, so they're a little bit happy, but the other team are a little bit pissed off. But it's okay because that team have had things go their way the last 3 races, or something like that. I think he's just, during his time in Formula 1, he's just tried to gain the respect and tried to keep everyone friendly. He's tried to be friends with everyone, and it doesn't work overnight, does it? I think for Michael Masi, his time in Formula 1 is pretty much like a Sir Alex Ferguson and a David Moyes situation of Manchester United. I don't follow football, I don't watch football, but I know that story. You've got this greatly respected human being that has done wonders for his club. He recommends someone else to come in, which is slightly different to what happened in F1, of course, but he recommends this other person to come in and say, look, he's the perfect guy to fill my boots. And they all expect David Moyes to immediately do the same job that Sir Alex Ferguson had been doing for the past 20 odd years at the club. It doesn't happen. And I don't think in certain situations that Michael Masi, no matter if he did no wrong, it still wouldn't be right because it's not Charlie. And I think that needs to be taken into quite a lot of consideration there. The fact that he just tried to be a people's person, and over the few years that he's been building himself up and getting himself, and his reputation and respect in Formula 1's been building, he's been letting the odd things slide. Oh, we'll penalise that even though they're a little bit borderline, just to try and keep everyone favourable. So some decisions go in some ways, some don't. With Charlie Whiting, and the perfect thing with Charlie Whiting is there's a perfect example of it. It was at the Mexico 2016 Grand Prix where you had Max Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo in the Red Bulls fighting, and you had, of course, Sebastian Vettel in the Ferrari, all fighting for 3rd place. Max got a bit heavy-handed with his overtaking opportunities and running off track, etc. Got a 5-second penalty. Sebastian Vettel decided then he were going to tell Charlie to fuck off for whatever he did, and he gave him a 5-second time penalty, and it meant that Ricciardo was on the podium. But guess what? After all that, so you'd had 2 drivers that crossed the line, 3rd, Max, wasn't it? Then Vettel was 4th, but should have been 3rd, but 5 seconds put him behind Max again. And then Ricciardo, with no penalties, got 3rd. And then at the end of the race, everyone just took it, accepted it, went, yep, fair enough, whatever. Apologised to Charlie, and they moved on. You didn't see that throughout the time of Michael Masi, did you? The decision making was always questioned and was never accepted. And this is what's happened. And it's all built up into this big, big thing of this 2021 season. He wants a title fight to go to the end. Oh, God, but they've crashed the title. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? The title rivals have crashed. Do I penalise one? Is it fair to do it? Is it not fair to do it? And he just tried keeping everyone happy, and it just all went a little bit sour, unfortunately. So, yeah. Absolutely the right decision to get rid of him, but very unfortunate. I don't think he were given the levels of support that he needed at the start. And I don't think there were people there at the time, not this season of course, but in the early stages of his career as a race director, to go, look Michael, that needs to be a penalty. It is all just a shame. It really is. He has to go for what happened on that final lap. But I don't think he ever favoured a driver. I don't think he ever tried to favour a team. I just think he tried to give us all what we wanted, which was a final race for the championship and a last lap battle. And it didn't work out. It happened, but not the way that any normal Formula 1 fan would have wanted to see it. So yeah, they're my thoughts. Leave your thoughts and feedback down below. I don't want it to turn into a hate-filled bloody drama about Michael Masi, because I do quite like the guy as a person. I think he did a lot of good things during his time, but this whole 2021 season just really makes you forget everything, you know. But yeah, leave your thoughts and feedback down below anyway, guys. I'll be interested to hear what you think, and also what you think to my opinion. Do you agree? You know, I just think it was a bad set of circumstances, to be honest with you. But there you go. And let's not turn it into a hate-filled fucking drama in the comment section, because I cannot be dealing with it. Honest to God, F1 Twitter just pisses me right off. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you all next time. I don't know when. For the regulars watching this, you know how bad and inconsistent I've been with videos. In fact, they've been non-existent. But here's one. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, guys, and much love.